Hey everybody, how's it going? Drew Creal here. In this video on the channel, we're going to take a look at what I think is one of the most innovative new overdrive pedals that has come out in the last couple years. We're going to take a look at the Old Blood Noise Beam Splitter. Stick around, you're not going to want to miss this one. Alright guys, so let's talk about the Beam Splitter from Old Blood Noise. Why would I buy this pedal? Why would anybody want to buy this pedal? Well, I think this pedal is made for the type of guitar player that's interested in making new sounds, okay? And I'm one of those guitar players. There's a lot that has been done in the world of guitar, right? So I'm always looking for new, interesting devices that can kind of give me an edge, okay? That's just the type of guy that I am. So I bought a Beam Splitter. It's a relatively modestly priced overdrive, you know, $200, 230, somewhere around there. And you really get 3 overdrives in one. And there's a lot of different routing potential for this. You can run 3 different amps with this pedal and delay each overdrive individually. It's an amazing little work of art that they've come up with here. And today, in this video, we're going to plug it directly into my JP2C so we can hear what the pedal sounds like all by itself. And then later on in the video, we are going to plug this guy into my Mega Super Idiot board, which has probably like $3,000 worth of pedals on it. It is obviously a pedal board that no one should own or play through, but we're going to plug the Beam Splitter in there, and I'll show you kind of how I have it hooked up into that pedal board. Before we plug the Beam Splitter into my amp and hear what it sounds like, let's just talk about the features generally and like what this pedal is. So as I mentioned earlier, it is a triple overdrive pedal. So your signal starts here with the purple overdrive, then it goes into the green and then into the blue overdrive. The purple is a more highly compressed, high gain overdrive. It doesn't have a time delay on it, but that feeds into the green overdrive, which is kind of a medium to low gain overdrive that kind of accentuates the mids and the highs. That has a time and a decay knob, okay, which is more like a feedback knob, and you have 125 milliseconds of delay on that channel. And then last, we've got the blue channel, which is, I think, a transistor overdrive, and it just sounds different than the other overdrives. And there's a little gain toggle switch if you want more gain. You just flip that guy up right there. And this one also has 125 milliseconds of delay, and it has its own decay knob. Now, these time delays that happen, they're supposed to kind of emulate 2 guitar players playing at once, okay? And if you want a huge freaking guitar tone, I think this pedal is going to help you get there. Now, the deviate knob, what that does is it kind of randomizes the delay times and makes them kind of bounce into each other, and there's even some comb filtering possibilities that you can do with this pedal, which is really cool. But if you want to sort of further emulate what it sounds like with 2 or even 3 guitar players playing at the same time, this deviate knob can help you with that, and this knob is actually tied to the expression pedal on the outside. We will check that out later. You can sort of use your foot to control how much deviation you would like. Now, what I like most about this pedal is you have 3 outputs, okay? If you want to use this like a normal overdrive, you're just going to use the main output, the purple output here. But if you want to run out into 2 or maybe even 3 different amplifiers, if you're one of those punk rockers or metal guys that likes to delay your signal a little bit, you could send your sound out 3 different times into other overdrive boxes, other metal pedals. You can drive the distortion sound with this beam splitter, okay? And the power of one guitar player quickly becomes the power of 3 knighted guitar players playing explosive metal, doom metal, progressive metal, insanely obscure avant-garde metal can be made with this pedal. So what we're gonna do first is plug old beam splitty here into my JP2C. Unfortunately, I only have 1 amp because I spent all my money on this one. So we will hear what this pedal sounds like going into the main input of the JP2C. And then later on in the video, we'll run it through my kind of HX Stomp super mega board that only an idiot would play through. But that's going to put us into the stereo territory, and I'll even show you a use case where you can use all 3 at the same time, and it sounds pretty freaking sick. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, guys, here we are with the beam splitter. It's going into this JP2C here. We're in the clean channel, okay? And this clean channel is tied to this graphic EQ. Just kind of gives it a little bit more oomph, and I'll show you what that sounds like right now. Okay, that's my clean tone. Now, the layout of the beam splitter is pretty simple. It's just the same thing 3 times in a row. You've got volume, gain, and tone right here, just like on an old Boss pedal or something like that. And then down here, you've got your time controls here, and then your decay, which is feedback. Think delay pedals, feedback, decay, right? And then we've got deviate in the middle of the hand. And I think this was one of the things about this pedal that just blew me away right away, was the artwork, the colorfulness of it, and that hand, that human hand in the middle. That was just really interesting to me, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy it because it has a hand on it. So I did. Let's hear what this bad boy sounds like. So that is with all of the overdrives on with no time or anything. So let's add a little bit more gain. Sounds pretty sick, right? Okay, let's turn that down a little bit. Let's check out the green. Kind of set that one like that. And what's cool about these is you can change the tone of each one and make one darker or one brighter, and then we'll later delay those different overdrives, and we're gonna get some crazy sounds here. So let's bring the purple back in. Last we'll bring, let's hear what the blue sounds like on its own. We'll turn these other volumes down. Really dark sounding compared to the other one. And if you want more gain on the blue channel, you just flip this switch up. So what's amazing to me about this pedal is you can blend those 3 different overdrives. And as you can imagine, we could send each of those overdrives out to different amps. Imagine how cool that would be. And send each overdrive into another pedal. Okay, so we'll check some of that stuff out in a little bit here. But let's start messing with the time delay. So let's make the green delay kind of short, like here, and then we'll make the blue delay like a lot longer. So let's check that out. So it's kind of like a slapback. So what you can hear is the deviate knob kind of randomizing those delays, and sometimes the delays are closer together and then other times they're farther apart. So really amazing effect. But let's crank up the decay a little bit and we'll kind of go for more of a maximal approach with the time delay. And let's go maximum deviate now. It's almost like a chorusy, vibrato-y kind of thing going on with the delays, because basically what's happening to the sound signal is it's kind of doing this. So it's a really interesting and unique effect, and as you can imagine, if you add some delays after that, it would sound even more insane. Alright guys, so what we're going to do next is take old Beam Splitty here and put him on my super mega awesome board and check out some of the sounds that we can make with that. Alright guys, so let me just briefly explain to you about my super mega awesome idiot dumb board. If you plan on making music anytime soon in your life, don't make a board like this, okay? It costs way too much money. You won't come up with anything cool when you have this many pedals. So with that out of the way, let me just explain to you what I have going on with this board. My guitar goes into this fuzz pedal over here. It's a germanium fuzz, so it likes to have that direct guitar signal, so it goes in there first. Then it goes into this Boss chromatic tuner, which is kind of used as a buffer to make sure my signal is consistent throughout the entire board. Then it goes into this volume pedal. After that, it goes into the VB2 vibrato and then into the beam splitter. And I'm actually using the main output into the left side of the HX Stomp, directly into that. And then the green side is going into the right side of the HX Stomp, so I've got a stereo signal there. And then the final output of the beam splitter is going into the Old Blood Noise signal blender, which I have another video coming out soon on the signal blender. And there's just so many cool ways that you can use this pedal that I'll get into in that demo. For the purposes of this demo, just understand that the beam splitter is sending a signal into this channel A, and then back into the HX Stomp. So if I want all 3 beam splitter sounds going on in stereo, that's what this A button is set up to do, and I just have that turned up all the way, and you get to hear what that sounds like in just a second. Now let me just explain briefly the rest of the board here, okay? So the HX Stomp has a stereo effects loop built into it, which is one of the most amazing features about that. So what I have done with the effects loop is I'm just using it in mono, and the start of my effects loop chain in the HX Stomp is Super Overdrive, the HM2, the Hyper Fuzz, and then all of these different dirt boxes from Lone Wolf Audio / Void Manufacturing. So it's more or less like a stomp box block that I've built into the HX Stomp. So if I want to use a couple of these other crazy distortion sounds, I can with the step of a button, okay? If I step on the B button in the signal blender, you will get to hear whatever I have going on over here. Now, after all of this stuff goes through the HX Stomp, it goes out in stereo into my Chase Bliss Mood pedal. This is like an ambient machine. There's a lot of crazy things you can do with this. I'm not man enough to make a pedal demo of this yet because it's so freaking complicated. So as soon as I grow some balls, I'll make a demo of this guy. But then that goes into the hologram effects microcosm, which is even more ambience because we like to just blast out into the universe. And then the last thing in my signal chain is the amazing Old Blood Noise Dark Light Reverb pedal, which is a stereo reverb pedal. There's 2 different reverbs. They come together in this glorious way. That is my last thing, which just takes the ambience to another level. We're talking 4-dimensional, 12-dimensional ambience going on just in this single pedal board. So now that I've bored the crap out of you and talked your ear off, let's hear what the beam splitter sounds like going through my super mega awesome board. Well, there you go, guys. That is my review of the Old Blood Noise Beam Splitter. Let me know what you thought of the sounds that I got with this pedal in the comment section below. It's always nice hearing from you guys, even you nasty guys out there that like to leave dirty comments, and just things that are meant to lower my self-esteem. Leave me some of those. Those are always fun to read as well and wake up to every morning. It's how I get my sunshiny day started. But anyway, let me know what you thought of this thing. It was super fun to make this video. I love doing this. If you want something unique, something for your super obscure alien core death metal band, I think this pedal can help you get there. On the other hand, if you are more of like a surf rocker, this thing can do that as well. So Lots of possibilities with the Beam Splitter. Another thing that you can check out on my channel, if you like metal music, if you like it heavy, I started interviewing bands from all over Middle Tennessee. I have 3 episodes up. It's really fun to kind of get an inside scoop of what's going on in Nashville and the Nashville metal scene, but also just all over because these bands tour and stuff like that. Speaking of touring, if you're in a touring metal band and you're interested in being on a cool podcast, please send me a message, let me know what you're up to. I'd love to get you on the show. So that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.